Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to explore a very important topic, India's bid for rare earth magnet factories. This is a case that's really worth studying for students, faculty, and industry stakeholders alike. On this slide, you'll see the title and the key reasons why this news is so significant. It demonstrates how nations can build strategic supply chains, reduce their dependence on imports, manage geopolitical risks, and foster industrial self-reliance. These are core concepts in operations, strategy, and international business, and understanding them through real-world examples like this one will give us valuable insights. So, over the next few minutes, we'll delve into what this means for global supply chains and national development. Let's get started. Now, shortly, we will initiate stakeholder consultations to gather valuable insights and foster collaboration. This is a crucial step as we aim to reduce our dependence on China's dominance in the sector. To support this effort, we are planning to establish a manufacturing capacity of 6,000 metric tons per year for REPM, which will significantly boost our domestic production capabilities. This strategic goal is a key part of our overall plan to strengthen self-reliance. We also expect to have a draft notification ready within this month, which will pave the way for further formal steps. In addition, the government has announced an incentive scheme worth Rupee 800 crore to encourage investment and development in this area. Looking ahead, we are preparing to invite bids by January 2026, aligning our timeline with our investment objectives. So, in summary, these actions and milestones are all part of our broader effort to build a resilient, self-sufficient supply chain and reduce reliance on external sources. Without rare earth magnets, modern technology as we know it would face a complete collapse. These magnets are absolutely essential across a wide range of critical sectors. For example, in green infrastructure and clean tech, they play a vital role in sustainable energy solutions. When we look at missiles and jets, defense systems, drones, and aircraft, rare earth magnets are fundamental to their operation. The aerospace industry heavily depends on them as well, especially in high-performance applications. Moving to energy generation, turbine generators that produce wind energy rely on these magnets to operate efficiently. In the automotive sector, motors and powertrains in electric vehicles depend on rare earth magnets for their performance and efficiency. All these applications highlight just how critical REPMs, rare earth permanent magnets, are to our modern world. If we lose access to these magnets, many of our advanced technologies and critical infrastructures could halt or become significantly less effective. That's why understanding their importance is so key to appreciating the broader picture of technological dependence and the need for sustainable supply chains in this industry. Let's consider what happens if China imposes any export restrictions. It would have an immediate impact on India's electric vehicle, renewable energy, and defense industries. These sectors are heavily reliant on supply chains that China currently dominates. Now, to boost our self-reliance, India has set ambitious manufacturing capacity goals. We're aiming for an annual target of 6,000 tons, supported by incentive schemes designed to build domestic capacity. This is a strategic move to reduce dependency on external sources and strengthen our local industries. In terms of investment, India has committed around 2,800 crore towards this goal. These investments are helping us expand and modernize our manufacturing capabilities, making us more competitive globally. Speaking of global dominance, China currently controls about 90% of the worldwide supply chain for renewable energy and other critical sectors. This China factor is a significant point of concern because it underscores how much of our critical materials and components are linked to China's manufacturing and supply dominance. Overall, these points highlight the importance of developing a resilient, self-sufficient supply chain here in India. It's about safeguarding our industries from external shocks and ensuring sustainable growth in these strategic sectors. Now, moving on to slide 5. Here, we see that Japan, South Korea, and the European Union have all been identified as alternative sources for equipment. This highlights the importance of diversifying our supply chain to reduce dependency on a single region. Diversified suppliers are crucial for ensuring stability and resilience in our technology ecosystem. Speaking of the ecosystem, there's a focus on building a complete value chain, from mining to refining, and finally to magnet manufacturing. This comprehensive approach helps us control quality and innovation at every stage. We've also launched an incentive scheme, which includes capital subsidies, technology support, and procurement commitments. These measures are designed to encourage domestic development and to attract investments in this strategic sector. Additionally, the Department of Science and Technology has been created specifically to develop indigenous magnet technology. This is a significant step towards self-reliance, enabling us to develop and deploy cutting-edge technologies within our own borders. All these efforts are part of India's broader strategic response to strengthen our position in the global supply chain for critical materials and technologies. So, on this slide, we're highlighting a significant shift in how countries are approaching supply chain strategies. Traditionally, the focus was on finding the lowest cost supplier, which often meant sourcing from the cheapest options globally. For example, when we think about rare earth elements like dysprosium, praseodymium, and neodymium, the old approach was simply to get these minerals as cheaply as possible, often relying heavily on a few dominant suppliers like China. But times are changing. Now, we see a new paradigm taking shape, one where strategic autonomy and resilience are prioritized over just cost savings. This means that even if China offers cheaper options, countries like India are choosing to focus on building resilient supply chains. The reason? Future conflicts or wars are likely to be fought over critical minerals and resources, making it essential to secure supply sources that can withstand disruptions. This shift marks a fundamental change in global supply chain strategy. Instead of just chasing the lowest price, nations are now adopting a new strategic calculus. Supply chain resilience outweighs cost advantage. It's about ensuring stability and security in essential resource supplies, which is increasingly vital in today's geopolitical landscape. When we talk about 2,800 crore, it's not just the cost of magnets alone. This figure represents a massive investment in building an entire industrial ecosystem. And what does that mean? It means we're creating a comprehensive supply chain that serves various end-use sectors. From mining and extraction to refining operations, and then to magnet manufacturing, each step is crucial. We're securing domestic sources right from the start, reducing reliance on imports and strengthening local capabilities. As we move along this process, we create finished products that are used across industries, whether it's electronics, automotive, or renewable energy. This entire ecosystem is about building a self-sustaining, resilient supply chain that supports our industries and boosts economic growth. Essentially, this 2,800 crore isn't just an expense. It's an investment to build a robust, integrated framework that fuels innovation and industrial development right here at home. When it comes to government responses, Japan, South Korea, and the EU are positioned to supply all the necessary equipment. This is a significant point because it shows that there are reliable international sources that can meet our needs. However, there are some domestic challenges to consider. For example, industries have raised concerns about equipment supply from China due to ongoing trade restrictions. These restrictions can limit access to critical components and slow down our development process. Another key issue is the need for a trained workforce. Specialized operations require skilled personnel, and there's a real concern about skill shortages. Without enough experts, even the best technology can't be fully utilized. This ties into the need for sophisticated manufacturing processes, which demand a high level of expertise to implement and maintain. Technology transfer is also complex. Moving advanced technology from one entity to another isn't straightforward. It requires careful management and significant expertise. And let's not forget the financial side. Setting up these facilities and acquiring cutting-edge technology involves massive upfront investments. High capital expenditure can be a barrier, especially when we're considering the overall timeline and budgets. All these challenges highlight the importance of strategic planning and international cooperation as we move forward with this project. Each point connects to the broader goal of establishing a resilient and advanced industry, but they also remind us of the hurdles we need to navigate along the way. Now, let's look at the strategic impact of these initiatives. First, by reducing our geopolitical vulnerabilities, we're strengthening India's position as a self-reliant industrial power. This means less dependence on external sources and more control over our critical supply chains. Next, strategic autonomy is crucial because it ensures we can sustain uninterrupted supply chains for wind turbines and other clean energy infrastructure. This stability in renewable energy is vital for our long-term energy goals. On the defense front, having reliable access to essential magnets boosts our military readiness, supporting everything from missiles to advanced jets and systems. It's about making our defense capabilities more self-sufficient and resilient. Additionally, securing the supply of critical components for electric vehicle motors will not only support domestic manufacturing, but also boost India's competitiveness in the global EV industry. Overall, these measures will significantly enhance India's energy independence, strengthen our defense posture, and position us as a leader in clean and green technology. This aligns perfectly with our broader goal of building a resilient, self-reliant economy for the future. As we look ahead, India's ability to build its REPM capacity will play a crucial role in shaping several key areas. It will determine our competitiveness in EV manufacturing, ensuring that we can produce electric vehicles efficiently and at scale. It also impacts our renewable energy security, helping us reduce dependence on imports and strengthen our energy resilience. Additionally, it directly influences our defense readiness, as advanced materials are essential for national security. And finally, it will shape India's position in global trade, allowing us to be more competitive and self-reliant on the world stage. The Rare Earth Magnet Initiative is a prime example of a strategic national project. It's not just about producing magnets, it's about laying a foundation for our industrial future, reducing geopolitical vulnerabilities, and supporting high-growth sectors that are vital for economic progress. Diversification in supply chains is another critical point. Relying on a single source for key materials makes us vulnerable, so spreading out our sources helps shield our economy from disruptions. In today's world, nations are prioritizing resilience over simply chasing the lowest cost. Critical sectors need to be secure and dependable, even if that means higher upfront investments. This is where supply chain sovereignty comes into play, gaining control over our key inputs and technologies, so we're not overly dependent on external factors. Achieving strategic competitiveness isn't just about technology. It's a combination of technology, supportive policies, and the right capital investments working together. When these elements align, India can position itself as a strong player in the global arena. All these efforts are part of our broader industrial policy in action, focused on building a resilient, self-reliant economy that's prepared for future challenges. And for all you MBA stakeholders, the key takeaway is that understanding these strategic priorities is essential. Whether you're involved in policy, business, or innovation, recognizing how these elements interconnect will help you contribute to India's industrial growth and global positioning.